way, but you're going in with the same attitude of, I'm just going to grind this out, get this 2-hour workout over with, this 1-hour workout over with, and I'm going to go ahead and feel as if I did what I'm supposed to do. And then, of course, you take your protein drink afterwards, take your supplements and all of that, and then pray to God that you're going to see some results, right? So, let's get real results. Hi, I'm John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today, we're talking about 2 ways in which you can go ahead and kickstart that progress back into gear. I know it's been a while since you've seen real gains. I'm not talking about you guys that are competing right now and girls that are competing. I'm speaking about the majority of you who watch this channel and watch most of YouTube that are not competitive bodybuilders or fitness athletes. How do you kickstart the progress again? Listen, number 1, start to segment out your year. You see, the majority of you are just going to the gym week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, training the same way. You're not just training the same way, but you're going in with the same attitude of, I'm just going to grind this out, get this 2-hour workout over with, this 1-hour workout over with, and I'm going to go ahead and feel as if I did what I'm supposed to do. And then, of course, you take your protein drink afterwards, take your supplements and all of that, and then pray to God that you're going to see some results, right? So let's get real results. How do we do this? Segment out your year. Think more in terms of either a year or 6 months. I used to break down my year for myself and my clients into a full year, and you can see how I did it for myself in my book, Mr. America Shape Up series. I'll put the link for that down in the video description below. The Mr. America Shape Up series, I show you how I went from out of shape to in shape all in a matter of just over a year. I used different training techniques throughout the year. Kept me super enthused, kept my interest the entire time. What are we going to do? Let's start with more like a 6-month period of time. Break that 6-month period into 3 sections, 2 months apiece, about 2 months. Come up with your most intense forms of training that you can think of, whether that's supersetting, whether that's doing negatives, whether that's doing pre-exhaust or doing rest pause repetitions. Any one of those, pick one, whatever your favorites are, okay? If it's a more intense, let's say, high intensity technique, if it's a more intense one like negatives, if you're going to do negatives on the regular, then that training cycle out of those 3 2-month cycles, it's got to be a little bit shorter because it's just way more intense than the others. So if you're going to use negatives, you want to make that more of a 4 to 6 week cycle. Okay? If you're going to do simple supersetting between 2 exercises or giant setting between 3 or 5 exercises, now that you can do a little bit longer, more along the lines of, 6, 8 weeks. So there you have it. The more intense, the shorter the number of weeks. The less intense, the longer number of weeks. Break 6 months down into 3 cycles. Use 3 different techniques. You're going to use just giant setting or supersetting on one. You're going to use just pre-exhaust on another one for about 8 weeks. And then lastly, save the most intense for last. And if it's negatives, negative only training, then save that for the end, for the last, as I said, 4 to 6 week period. You might get pretty burnt on doing just strictly negatives. Again, you can check it out in my book to see how I use the techniques myself and how, in fact, the more intense the period, the more intense the technique, the shorter the period of time that I would do it for. And then in between each one of these techniques, take 7 to 10 days off. So you actually get a break in between each one of them. But let me tell you something. At the end of each of those 2-month periods of time, about 2 months, you're going to end up 6 months down the road feeling like you did something different, way more intense than usual. Looking like you did something different, more intense than usual. As long as you supply the dietary needs to grow some new muscle, you're going to grow new muscle during that period. So slightly bump up the calories so that you can go ahead and grow that muscle. So breaking our year down into 6 months or a year, that's one way in which we can kickstart that progress, get highly motivated, get a good training partner to go along with you on this, and man, it's just going to fire you up for that 6-month period of time. The other change we can make to get progress kick-started once again. Now look, you know I've been a bodybuilder my entire adult life. I have friends, a lot of the interviews that I do on my channel, they're hybrid bodybuilder powerlifters, basically. A lot of them, I think right off the top of my head, of Marisa Inda. Marisa, you remember her. I just did a bunch of videos on her recently. One of the strongest women who ever walked this planet. And she's not just all about strength. She's about how she looks too. So it's the look. So I'm saying the number 2 thing we can do is focus a little bit more on the looks and not the strength. How do we do that? Well, take a period of time, whether it's 6 months, 3 months, whatever. Commit yourself to going on a reduced calorie diet if you have fat to lose. Commit yourself to putting on a little bit of more muscle by raising the calories up slightly. Pick one. Go on a specialized diet for a short period of time just to see what you can do and affect your body fat. Do it through the diet. Change your look. That's one of the things that changes from the time period when you're in your 20s and your 30s. For any of you who have been training for 20 to 40 years like I have, I'm going on 40 years soon. When you're in your 20s and your 30s, it's pretty easy to change training techniques and kaboom, you're growing muscle in different areas of your body and it's visible. You're fairly lean as it is. But as you get closer and closer to your potential, those gains are going to be much smaller. Those changes will be much smaller. The only way you're going to see those changes is by keeping your body fat down at a low level so you can see little changes to muscle groups, fibery changes, striations in muscles. That's the only way you're going to be able to see it. But this is something you can do well into your 40s, 50s, 60s, is affect your body fat levels through your diet. Change your diet up. Adjust your diet. Go on a diet. Any one of those. Okay? So first, segment out the year. Second, we're focusing on the physique rather than the strength. And maybe, just maybe, spend some time practicing posing. Do that for 4 or 6 weeks, 3 times a week, holding each pose for 10 seconds each, all the mandatory poses in bodybuilding. You're going to see your physique will change from posing, and that video is coming up soon as well. So, that's it for today. A couple of ways in which you can kickstart that progress, get highly motivated, get your mind off of just numbers. I must be making progress because I got stronger. My question to you, how do you know? Are you measuring your arm? Are you measuring your chest, your waist? Do you know that if you've gained a 1/4 inch on your arm, that you've also gained a 1/4 inch on your waist, which means it was mainly fat? So, become a little bit more bodybuilding oriented and get off of the strength factor. I know that a lot of you have been trained and taught from the beginning that the only true measure of change with your weight training routine is if you got stronger, which therefore means you gained muscle. Wow. So I'm not disputing that one. I am saying the focus can't be on the strength all the time, especially if your look is not changing. You got to go for the look sometimes. And the best way to do that is through your diet. So kickstart that progress. We're at a time of year right now where it'll do you great to do so. Any time of year is a great time to do so. Kickstart that progress. And there you have it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for watching this video and all of my videos. Please take the time to subscribe and like and give me your comments below. I love hearing them. Thank you.